things. I've talked about the demographics, and I talked about the fact that we're in a highly hyper-connected digital age. And so what CEOs tell us is that they're worried about this. This is keeping them up at night. As a matter of fact, PricewaterhouseCoopers and a number of other global consulting firms, they do a lot of CEO studies and they track business trends. And one of the things that I've been tracking over the last 10 years is PricewaterhouseCoopers Global CEO Survey, where they survey over 14 to 1,700 CEOs of major corporations around the world. And they ask them about their business challenges. What's keeping you up at night, and what do you anticipate as the business challenges of the future over at least the next 5 years? The number one is talent. Because, yes, they talk about government regulation, they talk about taxation, they talk about market penetration, they talk about stock price performance, they talk about customer satisfaction and innovation. Those things keep them up at night as well. But talent is the number one thing. Why does talent trump all the others? No pun intended. Why does talent trump everything else? Absolutely. Without talent, you can't innovate. Without talent, you can't service the customers. Without talent, you can't penetrate the market. You can't grow globally. So talent is the number one thing keeping CEOs up at night. Technology is the other. 86% of them report that technology advances will have a major impact to the transformation of their business over the next 5 years. Think about it now. We're living in an age of what we call the Internet of Everything. How many of you have heard of that? The Internet of Everything, meaning that everything is going to be connected. By the next 3 years, by 2020, 37 billion new things are going to be connected. Right now, less than 2% of everything is connected. So technology is moving that fast. Think about it. How many of you wear the Fitbits? Yeah, how many of you have GPSs on your phones? How many of you are tracking your calories and your cholesterols and your steps and all of that, right? And now you have cars that can get you home and all you got to do is just program it. All of these things are connected. How many of you have smart homes now? Where you can literally program your home, your security systems, your refrigerators by just on your phone. Smart homes. So all of these things are going to be connected. Isn't that funny? You see the tennis shoe on there too? Do you know that they have active wear, they have tennis shoes and athletic wear, shirts that you literally have GPSs? So like the tennis shoes, this is really interesting. It's scary. Is that with the tennis shoes, they have GPSs built into them. So they can actually tell you where to go. So if you're supposed to take a right, your right leg is going to vibrate in your shoe. Isn't that interesting? So technology is continuing to be, I'm telling you, at speeds of light, it is being disruptive. So everything from our processes, our people, you hear a lot about people analytics, right? We're tracking and analyzing everything. You're doing a lot of statistical modeling, and a lot of workplace demographics are using workforce analytics as well. Data as well as processing. So think about it now coming into the workplace and how we communicate and how we collaborate and how do we maintain and build relationships. In the workplace, we got virtual relationships. Many of you said you have virtual workers, but you're using Skype now. How many of you use Skype to do meetings and even interviews? Right, 10, 15 years ago, we weren't doing that because Skype didn't exist. So we're having to constantly upgrade and innovate ourselves. You're video conferencing. You're using social media platforms, right? We are tweeting, right? Hashtag. How many of you in here tweeting? Retweet me. I tweet it, right? And then we also are using social media and technology wherever we can to get work done whenever we can. So work is no longer about just where you go. Work is what you do, and you can do that anytime, any place. That's why flexibility is so much more in demand. So we talked about the part-time workforce, the flexible workforce. Look at some of the shifts in the way that companies now are reinventing even the workplace. So workplace of 2030 is going to look more like this. Open collaboration rooms, right, where you don't have the walls of separation and demarcation. And even the hierarchies, right, are kind of being turned down. I was at an energy company in California not too long ago. I was meeting with the CEO. $7 billion company, and the CEO comes in and he's wearing slacks and just a nice polo shirt, so no longer the suits and the ties, right? CEO of a $1 billion company. And he walks in and goes to stand at a desk, not an office, it was a desk, and it had a little bit of a glass around it, and he stood there with his laptop. That was his office. different than what I grew up in, right? With all the dark mahogany wood furniture. I know I worked in the bank, right? So we had the dark mahogany wood and all the big desks and the great libraries behind us. And so then what we're finding is that these are shifting. Look at some of the realities of the workplace. One of my big clients is Nestle Purina. And this is common. Bring your dog, your cat to work. Right? It's awesome. But look in the background what they're doing, right? They're just taking a quick break throwing a football. Right? So sometimes you got to be able to have fun at work and allow people to let their hair down because they're there 15 hours a day sometimes. They're there 80, 90 hours a week. And you can't just let it be all work and no play and no fun. Yes, this is another reality, is that people are working wherever, whenever.